noticed me. Nobody even called my parents to say, oh, is this not the wedding? Isn't this not the bride leaving the hall? Nobody. I left. For some reason, they felt that I have been kidnapped. Gaga, like a Nigerian movie. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, if this is your first time stopping by, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, and always leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Today we are having a sit down video. So today's video is going to be my experience coming into marriage and my first night. Okay, there's a lot of fairy tale out there, a lot of stories out there, you know, different strokes for different folks, you know. So but today I'm going to be, you know, sharing my own unique story. Now this is me celebrating my 17th year wedding anniversary, you guys. Like, it's not been the easiest, but we thank the Lord for his faithfulness and his mercy. It's just been his grace all the way, and I'm very, very grateful to God. You know, I got married. I don't know if I've shared it or if I've mentioned it in one of my videos. I will not say I got married so early, because my late mom actually got married at age 12, so I couldn't have gotten married at that age. Okay, so this is my 17th year in my marriage. I'm not here to share what I have learned and what I have not learned in this 17 years. My first night of marriage, you guys. Sit down, relax. I have my water here, and yeah, let's just have fun, right? Okay, so when I was before I got married, I just kind of finished my secondary school, and then wrote JAM, immediately made my JAM, but due to circumstances beyond my parents' control, I couldn't gain admission at that particular point. So I started working. I started, you know, doing what you call sales girls, you know, so I can save enough. I can save enough to, you know, help further my education and all of that. Yeah, so this was then I was just loving up on God. I was zealous. I'm not saying I'm not now, I mean then, I'm just talking about then. I was very zealous for God. I go for programs. So, and then eventually when the time came for me to get married, and now whilst all these things, whilst I was going to school, while I was still in secondary school, I started having suitors from church, you know, ranging from pastors, bankers, doctors. I had a lot of suitors, you guys. I had a lot of suitors. But let me mention here that if I had 50 suitors, I would say 40 was pastors. At that point, at that time, reverends. Okay, I had young evangelists, pastors and reverends and all of that. You know, at that time I was still going to school, and sometimes when I come back, I see these pastors, I see these people in our house, because as you guys can see, if you watch my daughter, you know that we kind of have this what I will call rapid growth. Okay, it runs from my mother's family. We are always bigger than our age, so you can see somebody of 17 years and the person is looking 20 already. That is how it is. So yeah, so suitors were already coming since, because my mom would just relate it in such a way. She just discuss it, and not in a way of asking me, because she knows already this girl is not the way you're looking at her. She should not, you know, make the same mistake her parents made with her. So but when the time eventually came for me to get married, my husband, I think everything fell in place. Okay, you know what they say about the right time. God made everything beautiful in his time. And even at that time, I was still very naive growing up, because if you don't know, I am an introvert, and I feel like I'm an introvert to the core. Like, it's very glaring. It is now I am trying to see how I will not be that way so much anymore, but sometimes I enjoy me. Okay, so I don't communicate much. I don't have friends. I go to church and come back. I go to school and come back, and all of that good stuff. So getting married, I had nobody to talk to. I had no people to share this idea aside my mother, my aunties, and my close relative. Okay, so I didn't have anything like ideas or discussions we were having, or going into marriage should be like this and all of that. I had zero idea, and I was a virgin. So what eventually happened was that they started planning the wedding. The way my husband proposed, well, story for another day. Like, it wasn't like your usual regular proposal. So it just happened that they just came together with my mother, my parents, and said planning the wedding. Nobody asked for my hand in marriage. It's still very funny when I share the story. Okay, so they said planning this wedding, and planning and talking about things, making lists, collecting lists from the village. My husband took me to Aba that time, and we shopped all our wedding dresses, materials, and all of that good stuff, and boxes of wrappers and all of that. When you're preparing with the consent of my parents at the time. So we came back. So in my head, this was what I knew, and this was how I felt at the point that something beautiful is about happening, or something big was about to happen. There's this occasion that we are planning, and I know I am involved, but I was seriously oblivious to the whole marriage idea. I was oblivious to what it meant, what I was getting myself into. I was totally oblivious to all of that. Okay, I was just following the music as it played out. I was just following. People were coming around. They were making the souvenir. Putting labels, packing, arranging. In fact, I was not stressed because nobody stressed me. Everything was done for me. Okay, my mother, my aunties, everybody was there. My cousins. When we went to about everything was bought. So I was not like I was stressed, like, now you have to go, you have to get. I did not bother. Nothing. They did not bother me. Okay, I was just living my normal life and being flowing. They come back today, they bring this, and I'm like, wow, people are just that whole thing. And at that point, we just moved into a neighborhood. This neighborhood within our estate. So we just moved into the neighborhood, and then I knew nobody. My own was just to go to work, go to school, and go to church, and that was it. Then I now gained admission. It was before my wedding. I gained admission, University of Port Harcourt, mass communication. Now okay. So that was my school. I gained admission, and I started going to school. And because of my being myself, and I had no friends in school. I don't know how to make friends, because I don't know how to strike up a conversation. I don't know how to hold up conversations. I didn't know how to communicate to people. I didn't know how to really best way to relate with people and all of that. Fast forwarding to the wedding preparations and everything. On that day, my wedding day, they made my hair. There's this lady, this single lady that lived in our compound with her sister and our friend. Okay, so they came around. My mom brought them to carry me along. They told me, okay, when they now knew that this is what was going to happen, they now said, okay, we'll start jogging. I wasn't fat, okay, I wasn't big. So she's always going for jogging. She was like, okay, maybe I should be joining them, that I need my wedding body and all of that, which I had no idea. This story, let me drop it here. So one of the days, we always wake up by 4 a.m. and start running from Federal Housing Estate. We'll run to GRA. That's quite a distance. That early morning, early hours. I don't even know if it is 3 or 4. So we'll run that far and then we come back. So I did this for like few days. It wasn't easy for me, something that I've never engaged myself in doing before. So this particular day I was tired of it, and the lady would not accept no, she would not take no for an answer. So on this fateful day I was just tired and I didn't know how to best way to relate it to her, and I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow them to a particular spot, and I'm going to turn back, because at that particular hour of the day everywhere is so quiet. Some places you're going to be running towards, there isn't no light, that nobody is looking out for you. Okay, so because I was not meeting up with their speed, it wasn't funny for me. Okay, so what I did that day was I got to where we call Ajib Junction, and then I turned back. These people have crossed into the GRA, and they are going, and because they didn't notice me, this was how bad it was. They didn't notice me. I had run back to the house, okay, and they continued to where they were supposed to turn inside GRA, like Casablanca. People that know that place, they now turned and they noticed that I was not forthcoming. They became scared. They started looking for me, because this was what was happening at that time, ritual killing and all of that, which is never our portion. And they were scared. They looked for me, came back to the house, and they saw me sleeping. It was crazy, you guys. But that was how I stopped running. And then we now, the D-Day was here. They called makeup artists. That time was no makeup artist. I didn't use a makeup artist for my traditional marriage and white wedding, because I never applied makeup. I never used makeup, so it was out of it for me to even use makeup. So on my traditional marriage day, my church people that we are supposed to be the ashwebi, right, or of the occasion, just brought powder and forced me to rub it and all of that, apply it on my face, and that was it. And during my wedding, it was this my neighbor also that said she must put up a little makeup for me. But I did my nails then, and then I made my hair. It was a guy that came and made my hair. They brought the guy, they helped me a lot. They brought the guy that came, made my hair, and that was it. All these things was happening. I didn't know, I didn't understand. This is like wedding. So they made my hair and everything, got me prepared. Women from church, deaconesses from church came that morning to know how I was going to look, because you have to dress a certain way to go to my church on your wedding day. No exposure, no nothing. You have to be well covered. So you have deaconesses coming and pastor's wife to come and supervise your dress, especially if you're not able to tender your dress like few days to your wedding, for them to take a look. But before then, they are going to also tell you, this is our dress code, so whatever wedding gown you choose, make sure it is decent enough for you to wear into the presence of God. So that was what happened that day. They came in on my face where I was having pain. I was, the ulcer. I used to have ulcer. So that morning, it was something serious. I was just feeling pain, that ulcer pain. I could not explain it, but everything was like, gosh, I was not ready for it. I was crying. I cried on my traditional marriage day, right? I also cried on my wedding that morning. I cried after everything. I went to church, and then we said our vows, and then we went to our reception ground. You guys, this is where it gets interesting. I'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So on the day of my wedding, after the wedding, the ceremony in church, so we moved down to our reception ground somewhere in GRA, and we had people. The reception was packed. It was a new hall. It was the latest in town. It was beautiful. The decoration was top notch. It was the best anyone in that room has seen. Like, it was something beautiful. And we started dancing, and we marched into the hall, right? We did all the doable dance. I could not dance. All my body was paining me. I was tired. I'm like, are we not done yet? Are we not done yet? So after everything, I managed to, keep up with the dancing, but not with the energy. I was tired. I was worn out. Like, this food thing is high time we stop. Like, being in the room with so many people was never my thing. It's never my thing. I don't know if it's ever gonna be my thing. Like, I don't do well in the crowd. So I was just tired of it. Who are you going to tell that you're tired? Like, everybody was happy. People came from the village, from my village, from my husband's village. People came, church people. My goodness, it was something else. So many people around one day, like, how do you do it? So do you know that after the wedding, after the dancing and everything, and the giving of gifts, we gave gifts to people and received their gift, right? We gave souvenir rather and received their gift. After that whole thing, and then there was distraction with people counting money. My husband trying to sort out things with his people. They were supposed to go back to the village, greeting and, greeting and all of that. People were distracted. You know what happened? I immediately left the reception ground, went outside, stopped the bike, ordered the bike with my wedding gown. With my wedding gown on my wedding day. Like, I left that place on top of motorbike. I went straight to my father's house, and because I know where we keep the key, I went straight into the bedroom and I laid down with my wedding gown. Nobody noticed me leaving the wedding hall. I left, boarded the bike, nobody. And mind you, people were still in the hall, people were still, outside the hall, people were taking pictures. You can imagine, they're taking pictures, people were chatting, people were going and all of that. Nobody noticed me. Nobody even called my parents to say, oh, is this not the wedding? Isn't this not the bride leaving the hall? Nobody. I left, and even when I got to my estate, people that had already left the wedding saw me, and I don't know what happened. Like, it's like they paused everybody, and I went in and laid down. And a time came, it's like when they started noticing, if my husband had finished with his people and they started leaving, or maybe they wanted to come and greet me, or me to say bye, or needed me for something or something, nobody saw me in the hall. And then panic started. Everybody was thrown into panic mode. I took the little money in my purse, left my purse and my phone. You guys, this is not even funny. I left my purse and my phone, took money for bike and left. So who do you call to say, where is she? Nobody knew how I went and, where I was. And the man that was supposed to be the father of the day was a white man that was working with my husband. Because of the case of kidnapping and all of that, he didn't show up. So people will feel like, but he was written in the wedding card, you know how it is. So for some reason they felt that I have been kidnapped, and there was panic mode everywhere. They said calling people. What they now did was, my mom had to come back to the house to come and change so that they can go make police report. There was pandemonium everywhere. The people that came from village managed to leave. It was something serious, you guys. This is what I'm saying. It was something serious. So, but when my mom came back, under that panic mode. Now listen, before I got married, this is what one lesson you need to learn from this video. If there is nothing you pick from this video, I don't know if this video is going to be part 1 and part 2, but let's see, be it as it's made. Before I got married, my mom or nobody sat me down to kind of educate me, tell me this is what is about happening, this is what is expected of you, or what have you. Nobody told me nothing. Nobody cancelled me. Nobody gave me any pet talk or whatever they call it. Nobody. So I was oblivious. I thought maybe, occasion is done, it is now time to go home, right? So I went home to sleep. So when my mom came back and she opened the house, she noticed that the house was open, and she immediately came in and she saw me lying on the bed. Gaga, like a Nigerian movie. So she saw me lying on the bed and she was like, she woke me up. I was already sleeping, like I was knackered. I was off, like I was off. She woke me up and asked me, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm fine." She said, "You're here?" I said, "Yes." "How did you get here?" "I took bike." What I'm saying now, innocently, I was just answering her. I didn't understand the stress they had to go through. I was just answering innocent questions, and then my mom realized how naive this child of hers was. My mom shouted, "Jesus!" She was like, okay, she didn't want to panic. She said she didn't want to panic. She didn't know how to react because she doesn't know what was in my head. So she said, okay, you know what will happen? Why don't you go to... Then he calls my husband brother, like brother, his name. He was like, okay, why not go to Bro Jude's house? Okay, you're supposed to be in Bro Jude's house, not here. I'm like, why? But the occasion is done. Like, I'm done, I'm tired, I came back to rest. She said yes, that she knows that, but after the occasion I was supposed to go back to Bro Jude's house. I'm like, why? She now said, you need to go there because people are going to come that want to see you. She did not tell me because you're now married. She said people are going to come. People are coming from the reception down to the house, and they need to see you, greet you, and you need to make sure that they are well taken care of. I'm like, okay. She petted me, did all the rubbing and talking, and managed me and gave me transport. I went out with my wedding gown again outside to the junction and boarded bike to Bro Jude's house. So I got to Bro Jude's house. There was somebody already there. Now she now made call to them, and everybody's nerves were calmed, and everybody was now okay. She's fine, thank God, and all of that. So I went into the house and I said, but I'm going to Bro Jude's house. My clothes, I don't have anything to change. This thing is heavy and everything. She said, don't worry, I'm going to bring you change of clothes. Just go, you can look for any of his jalabia and just put it on. When I come, you can change into something better. So that she now said, so that we can send this gown back, because it was hired, send it back to the woman for laundry and all of that. I was like, okay. And I got there, managed to remove that thing and change into a jalabia I saw there. And then I was waiting for my mom. She didn't show up. Waited, she didn't show up. Much later, Brother Jude came, and and people started coming. Because of that, no hotel reservation was made because everywhere was crowded. People came, people that could not leave, people that would not leave, they stayed days. So I had to stay in the house. So what happened? The story did not end there. So I managed that night. As I waited for my mom, she didn't show up. Much later, when Bro Jude came, I now asked him to call my mom that she's supposed to bring me something to change. My mom, listen, before now, they've already discussed everything. My mom had already told them how she met me lying down and all of that. They should be careful with me so that I don't, they don't even know where my head is and all of that. So Bro Jude was just, not arguing or questioning. He was like, okay, no problem. And I called my mom. She now said, that she came back that time I left, that people were coming and she needed to wash off some things and all of that. I should not worry tomorrow. So that night, I should sleep tomorrow. So that night, I managed to sleep. And this is what happened. So women in our church that night, that this is happening. This is the wedding night, right? So women in our church that night, it rained heavily. You guys, it rained heavily. All the rain that was supposed to rain on that particular day, during the day, it was a heavy downpour that particular night. Come and see me. Women in my church, they were calling me that night. They said, Sister Nelly, keep one leg here and keep the other leg in Abuja. You don't just you are saying all manner of things. Just comply. Just comply. But all these things, yes, I was just answering this course and I was laughing. Me, that was all my body. My legs here was like, felt like it was somewhere, they'd be shaking, like all the walking and dancing and, all of those acrobatic display. I was knackered. So it was just fun because Brother Jude was in the living room catching up with his brothers, his friends, his class schoolmates, and all of those people in the living room. And I was inside the room laughing my eyes out. And that was it. Like, I woke up the next morning. It was the next morning. Glory be to God. It was the next morning. It would have been a drama because, you guys, like I said, I got married as a virgin. So it would have been like a whole lot of drama. So that morning I woke up early like I always do. As a good girl that I am, I'm an early riser. I woke up early. I swept the house, made warm food. My mom sent food to the house, warm food, cleaned the kitchen, dressed the room, did everything, and then I wore the jalabin back. And then I got up. These people were in the living room. They were drinking. They were, chatting, catching up, and all of that. And I walked through the living room and told everybody bye-bye. I walked through the living room and I told everybody bye-bye. I already told Brother Jude in the room that I was leaving, and he said, okay, greet mommy for me. He did not do anything to try to stop me. I don't know. He'll be like, I don't know what I'm going to say to this lady now, and everything here now, we don't know, because then I can cry for Africa. Anything, there's a way you look at me, I will shed tears. There's a way you will talk to me or answer me or reply me, the tears will start pouring. So he was just, okay, greet mommy for me, tell her I'll come and see her later, and I left the room. Now I came to the living room. It was packed, and I told them bye-bye. Like, I just said it and I was walking towards the door to gain access to the exit door, right? And everybody was looking at me. My husband said he was behind me and he told them to keep quiet, okay? That they should not ask me. Everyone, I said, okay, bye-bye, our wife, bye-bye. And I opened the door, to leave. Immediately, I stepped my leg to the protector to, open the key and leave. I just heard, for better or for worse. That was how my life changed, you guys. How my life changed. That was how I knew that this is something serious. That was how I knew. That was how my life changed. So this is my story, and from there on out, I stood there and that protector, I started crying. I started shedding tears. So when they noticed people were in the living room, my husband was peeping, they were all peeping me from the door, unknowingly to me. When I started crying, they said they kept quiet, to know what I was going to do. And I cried for a while, shed tears for a while, and before I now turned, and immediately we all saw ourselves. My husband and I came and was like, it's okay, what is it? And I'm like, I just heard for better or for worse. He now brought me in, sat me down, tried to calm me down and everything. Said, don't worry, it will be fine. I should not bother about anything. If I need to ask any questions, I should just go ahead and ask the questions and all of that. And then when I was more relaxed, they just put film for me. At that point, they just put a movie for me to watch. Everybody was running around. Should I drink water? It was crazy. So they now, helped calm me down. And then later, my husband now drove me to my parents' house. and started talking, and that was it. That was when I now knew it was that day I now carried my bags, my boxes and everything to my husband's house 17 years ago. And that is the story of how my journey. I came into marriage, and yeah, God has been faithful. 17 years later, God is still faithful. I'm so grateful for my journey so far, for the journey with the Lord. It has been amazing. And yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm just thinking, if it was now that I left the hall, climbed the bike and came to the house, my pictures would be everywhere, all over social media. But glory be to God, we are here stronger to the glory of God. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you do, click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you feel like it, you can share the video. So until I come your way next time with something beautiful, until then, please do remember that better is not good enough. The best is always yet to come. Until then, so long.